People access accounts and applications anytime from anywhere. By configuring multi-factor authentication, or MFA, in Oracle Identity Cloud Service, you can protect data access and secure your business applications. MFA is a method of authentication that requires the use of more than one factor to verify a user's identity. When a user signs in to an application, they're asked for their username and password. With MFA configured, the user must provide a second method of verification. This process is called two-step verification. The two factors work together to add an additional layer of security by either using additional information or a second device to verify the user's identity and complete the login process. To configure MFA, on the Multi-Factor Authentication Settings page, select the factors that you want to be available for your users. Factors that you don't select don't appear as options for the user during enrollment, login, or on the Self-Service Console two-step verification page. You must select at least one factor in order to create a sign-on rule for MFA. Next, we'll customize the factor configurations on the individual factor tabs. The mobile OTP and mobile app notification factors use a mobile device to verify the user's identity. The mobile app generates a one-time passcode that the user enters on the login screen. Or, a notification is sent to the mobile app on the device for the user to approve the login request. Use the mobile app settings page to configure protection policy for the Oracle Mobile Authenticator app, or OMA app, including how users can access the OMA app, when to require users to unlock the OMA app, and the OMA app lockout policy. Use the compliance policy section of the page to choose which operating system and which versions are allowed to use the OMA app. You can also configure policy for detecting the use of a rooted device and whether a device must use the screen lock feature. These settings affect both one-time passcode and push notifications through the OMA app. The text message factor sends a one-time passcode as an SMS to the user's selected device that they then enter on the two-step verification page to verify their identity. Adjust SMS configurations, such as the number of digits that the system should use when generating the passcode, and for how long, in minutes, the passcode is valid. In the Message Template section, you can edit the wording that is sent in the SMS message to the user. The email factor sends a one-time passcode in an email to the user's primary email address. The user then enters that passcode on the two-step verification page to verify their identity. The configurations for the one-time passcode sent in an email are similar to the SMS configuration. You can specify the number of digits that the system should use when generating the passcode and how long in minutes that passcode is valid. When security questions are enabled, the user is prompted to provide answers to pre-registered security questions to verify their identity before gaining access to an application. When configuring security questions, you can change the minimum number of characters required for a user's answer and change the number of security questions that a user is asked. Clear the checkbox for questions that you don't want to be available to the user. You can't edit or delete the default questions, but you can add custom questions. Select Add Question and then enter the question in the Add a Security Question window. The custom question will be at the bottom of the question list. The ability to generate a bypass code is available to the user after they enroll in two-step verification. They can generate a bypass code and store it for later use, or request that an administrator generate it. For example, when a user has forgotten their phone, doesn't have cell service, or can't access their computer, at the two-step verification page, the user can contact the help desk to have an administrator generate a bypass code. The user then enters that bypass code to gain access to the application. To generate a bypass code for a user, access that user's account in Oracle Identity Cloud Service, select More, and then click Generate Bypass Code. There are additional settings on the Multi-Factor Authentication Settings page. Use the Enable Trusted Computer option to allow your users to mark their devices as trusted during login. Then, define how long a device can be trusted and how many devices the user can mark as trusted. You can also define how many factors a user can enroll in and the maximum number of times that a user can provide incorrect verification using an MFA factor before they are locked out. After configuring the factors that you want, you must define a sign-on policy and rules for your applications. To create a sign-on policy, access the Sign-on Policies page by expanding the navigation drawer, click Security, and then click Sign-on Policies. Click Add, enter a name for the sign-on policy such as PCI Applications Policy, and then click Add Rules to create one or more rules within the policy. In the Add Rule window, enter a name for the rule, like Prompt All Users for MFA. Then, define the conditions you need, for example, selecting the group that the users belong to or the IP range from which the application is accessed. In the Actions section of the window, select Prompt for an additional factor. Specify if MFA is required or optional, and then define how often you want users to provide a second authentication factor. After you define the rule, you need to assign applications to the sign-on policy. Add one or more applications to the policy, for example, HR application and CRM application. After you create the policy, save, and then activate it. You have now configured MFA for the HR application and the CRM application.